what exactly are the reliefs being sought by the minority?
So, Kojo, we know that it was last week that the president wrote to the Speaker of Parliament announcing or informing the House that his pick to be the next Chief Justice following the removal of Gertrude Torkornoo will be Justice for Baffoe-Bonnie. The president requested expeditious vetting of Baffoe-Bonnie. The Speaker subsequently referred the nomination to the Appointment Committee. And in fact, I can confirm to you that last week, the Appointment Committee met and firmed up Monday, 10th November, as a day to vet Justice for Baffoe-Bonnie to become the next Chief Justice. And the minority say they are keeping all cards on the table. And I can confirm to you that this morning, a number of minority MPs, including Kwame Onyemaduantwi and the Minority Legal Counsel, John Darkman, a couple of their colleagues also involved, have now asked the Speaker to put on hold the vetting. Their claim is that the former Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, have actions in court and she's challenging her removal. And so it will not be fair to appoint her successor while she's still in court, asking the court to overturn the decision to remove her from office and reinstate her. And while at the same time, the President and Parliament are acting to get a new person in office. So their main ask of the Speaker of Parliament, Adam Bagden, in this memo and motion that they are filing is to the effect that the Speaker of Parliament should put on hold the vetting of Paul Baffoe-Bonnie until all legal challenges that are currently in court and pending regarding the removal of the former Chief Justice are dealt with.
Now, there are a number of actions in court filed by the former Chief Justice. Do we have a record of them? Do we know how many actions are pending and have not received responses from the court?
Well, Kojo, from the top of my head, I can count three. The Chief Justice filed one, the former Chief Justice, I should say, filed one at the time that she had not been removed, challenging the processes and the work of the Justice for Man Committee. She filed an injunction application in that matter also. That injunction application was dismissed by the Supreme Court as having no merit. That substantive case has not been dealt with. It is still pending, and parties are still filing their processes to enable the Supreme Court to deal with it. And then the Chief Justice also filed another application for judicial review at the High Court, seeking interpretation or seeking enforcement of her rights. First, she says that the President cannot remove her as Justice of the Supreme Court because the petitions that went to the President were asking for her removal as Chief Justice. We know in that matter, the Attorney General has filed a response in court and has asked the High Court to transmit that matter to the Supreme Court because it is a matter of interpretation. And so the Supreme Court will have to do an interpretation on that matter. And so she has filed that action and is currently not dealt with as we speak. And then, about 2 weeks ago, she filed a substantive action again at the High Court, asking the High Court by way of judicial review to annul the proceedings of the Justice for Man Committee because she believes that the proceedings were tainted with unconstitutionality, irregularity, among other things. That is her view, and she is saying that she ought to be reinstated as Chief Justice. So from the top of my head, there are at least three matters that are in the name of the former Chief Justice herself, apart from those ones in the name of Vincent Ekwasafua, Kabila, and the like. There are a number of court actions in court. But when it comes to Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, or former Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, she has three actions in her name, all geared at reinstating her to the bench of the Supreme Court and as Chief Justice. And that is why the minority are saying that until all these legal disputes are resolved, it is not appropriate to appoint a successor.
Now they are expecting a ruling on this injunction they're seeking.
Well, the Speaker of Parliament would have to make a determination, and I suspect the Speaker of Parliament would do so quite expeditiously, especially because the vetting of the nominee is scheduled to be held on the 10th of November. And so a decision would have to be taken before then. And so the Speaker does not have any timelines to do this, but the minority may push. And in fact, we expect that today the leader may raise this on the floor and urge the Speaker to expedite a decision on this. The majority will also have their say because, in fact, they have all been opposed to all of this. They say that simply because an action is in court should not injunct an entire arm of government from proceeding. And so we are expecting a political battle, when it comes to this matter.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kwasante. I wonder if you have any thoughts, Blessed.
Oh,